Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
So I just recorded an episode on numerology, which you must have checked last week. And by far, that has been the most challenging one for me to record because I had the fear of sounding foolish or stupid. And while I was thinking about all of that, I just came across the thought that stupidity is so subjective. And if I'm in a room full of people who are expert numerologists and talk to them, they will not find anything that I've said stupid. They would actually add on to it and come up with newer insights and make me feel valid and seen and heard in a way without detesting the idea or just calling it outright foolish. So that made a lot of things clear to me in terms of everything we do and the kind of people we are surrounded with. So you could be right, but in the wrong room where people might not get your opinion because that's not what they have studied in their life or have experienced in their own life or looked into or just aren't open minded in general. So that does not make you stupid. Of course, this is barring times when you are wrong and clearly there is something that needs to be worked on your part. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about times when you feel out of place, when you don't belong in a group, when you're constantly called out to for being different and not in a nice way, not in a nice way. And yeah, that can make you feel really like you close down and you don't feel like expressing your thoughts and opinions as freely as you would around a group of people who will get it. So, yeah, that lack of understanding on someone else's part shouldn't be the reason that you don't open yourself up because the world is vast and you don't know who will be able to connect with you and who needs to hear what you have to say. So that has really given me a lot of comfort knowing that not everyone will get what I'm trying to say. And I don't want that in the first place. If someone is open minded enough, that will be the best case scenario. But even if someone is not and they find it absolutely crass, I do not care. I only here to share what adds value to my life. And it doesn't matter if you don't think the same way. It won't stop me from still expressing my views and my thoughts around a particular topic. Because this is not the first time where I've felt like thinking twice before posting something. I obviously have a lot of those moments, and it usually comes off because of the fear of feeling misunderstood or misjudged. But I have never felt that way around the right set of people. So I have led communities and spoken to a lot of strangers, but there has always been a common ground with them, and that is spirituality. So I have never felt like I don't belong with them or they won't get it. They've never made me feel stupid or, yeah, punished me for thinking otherwise. But I also know people who have made me feel that way and who just will never get it. So that's the place I try to avoid. That if I don't share my thoughts, what about the people who will understand and who wanted to know my ideas in the first place? So I'm here for them and I'm here to help them out. So my main focus will be that. But yeah, it really like took away this filter from my head of okay, how do I sound? How do I make this make sense for a skeptic? And I just feel like I was thinking about the wrong people the whole time. And now I have to like I can be more open and free with my thoughts because I know someone, at least someone, will be able to understand the place where I'm coming from. Maybe because they've studied it themselves, maybe they have experienced it in their own lives, maybe because they are open minded and have a good connection with me, maybe because they are just genuinely nice people who can't see any wrong in others. I think that's a very few percent of people, but yeah, anyway. So there's that. That truly made things better for me in my head. And yeah, I think I would not have as many barriers to my expression going forward because I know it will reach the right people. And since I'm not in a room of just 5, 10 people, and I need to keep explaining over and over because it is genuinely tiring to explain to someone who has not experienced or has no awareness or knowledge on a particular subject. And I know it's good to be able to answer them and go according to like the critics and yeah, be thorough with the subject. But I don't think I would want to turn a non-believer into believer. I am more interested in helping someone who believes in everything that I once believed in, but still feels stuck and still like someone who wants to work, someone who really, really wants to change, but does not have the right kind of guidance or the comfort that they once wanted. So they are the ones I am more likely to gravitate towards than someone who just wants to come up with an intellectual challenge. That's not the kind of people I'm here to impress. It's the lost kind of souls who have been in the position or closer to what I have had in the past. And whatever has helped me grow from that point to where I am today, I want to give them the hope, belief, ideas, actions that can get them to that place as well. So, yeah, that's the whole motto with this channel and everything that I share. And I really had to make it clear in my head so that when someone comes up with a judgment or misunderstands me, I don't lose my power and I don't limit myself just to impress them. Or, yeah, because some people will never, like, they are out on a mission to prove you wrong. And no matter how much you try, they're not gonna be open to what you've got to say. So, yeah, anyway, that is something that has, yeah, cleared up a lot of things for me. दूसरा मुझे क्या बोलना था? So, when people define normal, I feel it's just a definition of ordinary, and I don't think any of us were supposed to be ordinary and live an ordinary life, but 99% of us do. So if 1% of the people come out there and talk freely about their ideas, it really bugs the 99% of the population, and they're just like, you've not seen life, you this and that, and I don't get what you're talking about. And life isn't that easy. And you're living a fairy tale and you're delusional. And I don't know, like all sorts of names. Like, I haven't heard anything like that in my case, but there could be a possibility and that could happen. And I'm sure people who think differently and have a unique voice, who are a bit more in contact with their soul, will definitely have different ideas than the rest of the world. So then, do you want the other person to think like you or honor what is coming through their soul wisdom? I would rather have or every single one of us thinking differently and living through our soul's wisdom than convincing another person to think like me, act like me, talk like me. So, yeah, as long as you are living through your soul, you are doing everything right and you don't need to listen to anyone. because most people haven't even tried to understand themselves. So all of their lives look the same, all of their excuses look the same, all of their complaints look the same, all of what they do in their day to day looks the same. But yeah, we weren't supposed to live the same life. All of us were supposed to live a true expression of who we are. And my obsession with all of this is only to get to the truth. I am tired of living a lie and just having to accept a lie to be the truth. So I will fight as much as I can to get to the truth of life and live that. Which also brings me to the point, the most frustrating thing is when people living only through their material senses think that it is the reality when it's delusion and Maya. It's not the actual reality. And yeah, if you put me in a room of people who just think that way, it is obviously going to make me feel like I am wrong. And all of these people are right because they are higher in number and they might be doing something right. But that's not the case. I will always feel threatened because of a higher number of people doing wrong things with their life. Because if they were so right, why do I see so much of issues? Right from poverty to relationship related issues to health issues to like, have we normalized these things? And then there comes a person who wants to change it and who expresses what has helped them. Then we're just like, oh no, you don't know anything, you haven't seen life. So yeah, I genuinely want to empower people who think differently and have a unique voice. At least they have a connection with themselves. And I don't want you to ever dim your light because the larger section of people don't get you. But also remind yourself the larger section of people are not living the life that you wanted to. And if they did not fight enough to get to their truth, does not mean that you need to live below your means and never know your own truth. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to share with this one. It's a pretty deep topic and I can go in all directions, but then it will become very vague and I don't want to do that. I'll save it for another audio. But आज के लिए इतना काफी है. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.
Free audio post production by alphonic.com.